It was you who challenged me, and this is what I always tell staff. I said, we were going great. We started booking business. I sat down with this Curt Slater guy, principal of the year in Minnesota in 2018, and he looked at me and said, Joe Beckman, you are an awesome speaker. And I said, thank you. And he said, Joe Beckman, I would have never hired you in my school. And I said, thank you. You went on to tell me that it wasn't because you didn't think I was a good speaker, but you challenged me on what happens next. How do the Joe Beckmans of the world continue to support schools long term? And that cannot be a day, and it really can't be just a month or a few months. This has to be a longer term, really whole school community where we can build buy-in from staff, from parents, get student voice to be a part of it so that it's built within the system long term.
What you and I love about what we do each day is there's strategies and there's practices to get back to what has caused us harm. And that harm of being away from each other and not connecting and not having the ability to have that human connection because of the pandemic. But now when we can, what does that look like, sound like, and feel like? Because not all kids are going to respond to Miss Olson standing at the door greeting kids.
But every kid will respond to walking into a building where they feel like they belong and they feel connected and they feel like have adults that support them even when sometimes they're not at their best. And I believe why we exist is to help school communities in many ways create that environment that will help create those relationships, build that connection so that learning can be unleashed.
Some of you woke up this morning and the not enough started.
We at TILL360 have the resources in place, and we're going to continue to grow those so that we can support schools long term. So obviously we do live events, and we do those pretty darn well for students, for staff, for parents. And I'm the keynote kind of motivational guy, but your brilliance is around the professional development.
When I went to school, I spent many, many hours in the office.
What we're trying to do is look at what can we do on a daily basis to build social emotional behavior support, mental health into our day versus this separate identity. Everyone needs something a little bit different, and that's why I love that we don't try to sell one thing. We're not here to sell anything for you. We're just here to say, hey, what's working, what's not, and if something's not working, giving them some best practice strategies. But the bigger thing is the fidelity. How do you hold people accountable to say, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do SEL well, or we're going to do classroom management well? How do we hold ourselves accountable? That's the other part of that we do with schools, is that we not only come in, but we hold them accountable of what this will look like. If you want to do this work well, there has to be an implementation practice behind it, but there also has to be professional development that not only supports our staff, but gets our students excited about what we do.
And parents, right? Because at the end of the day, what we know is that we, as an organization, we can't do it alone. We need everybody in the community, the entire village, to be part of this journey.
My ultimate goal is that after having a TILL360 experience with the district for 3 to 5 years, anyone could walk in and see some of the sustaining pieces still in place, and that they can support it without our help.
We all have a story. And every day we have thousands of opportunities to make somebody's story a little bit easier. And I think one of the best ways we as adults can make kids' story a little easier is to be real, to be authentic.
We need to understand that none of us are broke, but we definitely have to figure out how do we get back to what builds us up instead of tearing each other down.
I believe it is, at the end of the day, our humanness, not our intelligence, that's going to have the biggest and deepest impact on the lives of kids.
Yeah.